watching everyone become your clear mirror is something that I'm not used to, because my intention coming into this retreat was to really embrace my vulnerability, which is something that I really hadn't done, or I thought I did, but again, it was a mental process.
Yeah.
And so today I really want to talk about really just going deep into the foundation of shadow work. And I really want this episode and this video to help our audience understand what exactly is shadow work, right? Because I think that it's really important that before we do any deep kind of work, that we understand what we are doing. And to actually learn the knowledge and science of why shadow work is even important. So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, I'm Norma.
Hello, Norma.
I come from Las Vegas here in Bali right now, originally from Mexico, but I found my healing journey 15 years ago when the regular stuff didn't work for me, right? When the mental process didn't work for me, when the medicine didn't work for me. So I needed to start looking for alternatives, right? And so I started exploring, and I went into modalities that I never heard of in my life. And I saw the results, and one led to another, and led to another, and literally that's how I came into my full journey, which is today into what we call shadow work, which is inner healing.
Yeah.
Right? It's inner child healing. But what makes different shadow work from other modalities is that we go through somatics, we go into the subconscious part, into what is not aware, which is what we call a shadow. Shadow meaning lack of awareness, lack of enlightenment, or lack of not knowing, right? So we go to the subconscious, and we go through what the body records, like the tension, the knot in the throat, or the pressure on the chest, or the punch in the gut, or the shock, or the freezing feeling, right? Things like that, somatics. We access through those sensations. We access by being present with those, by giving attention to those, not even conditional. It's more of just witnessing without any resistance, that eventually those sensations connect us to a memory where that sensation that we're feeling originated from. So shadow work essentially is the process of putting yourself together again. Why do I say that? It's because when you go to those memories, you discover that at the moment of that impact, because it was an experience that it created some sort of impact in your life, you fragmented yourself. You basically, like a glass that you drop and it breaks into little pieces. That's exactly what happens to us if there is no resolution, which is the very reason why you have those sensations, meaning that as soon as you have a reaction in the body in an interaction with someone, what we call a trigger, as soon as you have an interaction, it's an indication that something is missing.
It's feedback from the body.
Exactly, it's feedback, right? The phrase, the body keeps the score, is true. The body has a record, and it's our job to go under that what is the record showing and go and explore where it takes us. And most of the time it takes us to childhood memories. And it's in those childhood memories that we learn to understand what was happening, whether there was a missing experience, that there was everything is a missing experience, but what kind of missing experience was missing, right? So in child work is basically that, going into those memories and trying to provide the missing experience so that there is a sense of completion in your body, there's a sense of integration, so that when you come back to your normal awakening life, you feel what you're experiencing right now. So and then from that place you can make better choices versus from the fear or from the shock. So it's just a different life choice by having awareness of what is on the subconscious.
One of my favorite quotes by Joe Dispenza is, he always says that the body is the subconscious mind. So if you want to access the subconscious mind, understand what's happening in your body. And what was really liberating for me also is that you helped me realize that I'm so much in my head, because when you were asking me, like, what is the feeling? I'm like, I think I feel hurt. And you're like, But that's still a mental process.
Yes.
What does the feeling feel like? Like, does it feel like a knot? Does it feel like you're being pulled back? And I'm like, wow, I have to tune in. Like, I haven't even really done that, even though I love tapping. I do a lot of EFT tapping, and one of the processes is actually being aware of what's happening in the body. But again, it's like the surgeon cannot do his own surgery, right? You need to be witnessed by another person.
Absolutely.
And in group, it's even more powerful.
Absolutely, because then you see yourself in everyone, and it's just easier, because that's the other part of our capacity to learn, is that we learn by watching, right? It's the very reason why we have the behaviors that we have, that we learn from our parents or our families, because we watched those and it became part of our normal being. And so when we watch others going through their healing, you're also healing. So that's what is so magical about group healing, as long as it's done correctly, right? Because it could also be going the wrong way. So in the right setting, with the right techniques, it is absolutely an accelerated way to heal yourself, because it feels less threatening, because you're seeing it outside. Like when you see the person outside and you're like, oh yeah, that's me. Somehow it feels for you more at ease. Exactly, right? You feel more at ease, because you're like, oh, but your subconscious is learning us, like, oh, that's also me, and so I can allow that to happen. And obviously you do have your own process as well, but again, the idea of group healing is that massive healing happening at the same time, and it's even bigger energy for the group as a group to get all that healing. It's just really powerful stuff. Really, really powerful stuff. So, and Joe Dispenza is correct. The body is the subconscious, or another way that we can call this is literally our spirit that is guiding all of that. And so, the part of us that you don't control, I don't control, but we can tune into and see what is present there. And in this case, we're just looking for sensations that are indicating red flag, red alert, there's a trigger, a light bulb, right? Something is going on, flashing, for us to pay attention, whether that is I disassociate, whether that is like I feel heavy, or I feel empty, or I feel hollow, or I'm shaking, sweating, all kinds of sensations. I mean, hundreds of them.
I mean, that's what I experienced during the breath work that we did, is that it was even difficult for me to share, because I was saying to you that I realize now that these sensations are not attached to words. They're not attached to language. Sometimes they're not even attached to like people and places and things, because there's simply energy that has accumulated within the body. And so during breath work, what I personally felt was this energy that just had to move and had to be released. And when I was complete, I felt like, I don't know what that was about, but I know that that was accumulation of energy that simply did not belong in my body, and it had to be released. And for me, it was like through this guttural voice that I would never consciously, make, but the moment that I could feel myself surrender, and I just told myself, like, let the body lead, let the spirit lead. And my body just became like a vessel for this energy to just like flow and like move through. And even doing that in a group, at first it was very uncomfortable, but I was like, you know what? Everyone's going through their own processes, and I'm just gonna surrender, and I'm just gonna let go, and it's safe. And that was when I was able to just like drop in, and it was like, oh my God, like everything just started to come out. And I felt so free, and I truly felt like a new person, and that I had a new chance at life. And it was like a new energy came in and was like, wow, that old energy, that old Silkina just like left.
Because what's happening is that while you're trying to control and suppress and resist what is present in the body, you're literally maintaining the pain in the body, right? And so that's just energy. I mean, emotion literally means energy and motion. It needs to move, right? And if you're suppressing the emotions, you're literally restricting your flow of energy, because our energy is constantly moving and it has to flow, right? But when we restrict it, because we don't want to surrender, and we're trying to control how to direct that energy, first of all, we don't have the capacity to do it like that unless you consciously do it. which is the process of surrendering back to like, I need to be present with that.
Yeah.
But if we don't allow the emotions to flow and to continue their evolution, because just like you and I, we're growing, we're having an evolution process, the emotion does too. So it has to continue to go to the next level. So what you do is that when you surrender, you're literally introducing a new vibration to the body. It's almost like a new ingredient in the recipe. Now the recipe can change, right?
Yeah.
And so by you surrendering, you allow the flow to be restored, the rhythm to be restored, and what needs to come up will come up. And for you, when you see it and acknowledge and validate it, then it adds a new component, a new ingredient to the recipe, right? You're acknowledging, which feels good, because everything has a vibration. So if you're resistant, the vibration is here. But if you add in acceptance, now you increase the vibration up here. And if you add in validation, you just increase it. If you add in acceptance, you increase it. And that's why it feels so good, because you're literally increasing your vibration and your consciousness by you becoming aware. So it's really an amazing process, but it does take surrendering. And eventually
trust.
Absolutely. You have to trust. You have to trust the wisdom that is already in your body.
Right.
Right? Because if you don't, then it's the conscious mind or the ego trying to control everything. But it's the subconscious or unconscious mind, the spirit, basically the one that controls your breath, your heartbeat. Like, you don't do those things. That wisdom knows exactly how to let that process flow, but we just gotta surrender and witness it.
And that's a really important lesson as well, is like trusting that you are not doing this work alone, even energetically. By the way, Norma, like as I'm having this conversation, I feel like the truth operating in my body so strongly. Like, yes, like I just want to take a deep breath, like, oh my God, it's so true. It's so true. And I want everyone to like know this. And what I like what you said during the retreat as well is that everybody is essentially almost like going through similar things, but with different flavors. So it's like, you know, somebody could be a mom and feelings with their child, and I'm not a mom, but I'm looking at her and I'm like, but I'm sort of going through that too. It's just like in a different way. So which is why it's like, you can connect with everyone. Everyone is connected. And when you can work in a group and you hear everyone's stories, which is why I was present for everyone's stories, because I don't care that you're a mom or you're from this background and you live in this country, because it's like, right now we're in a group and there's a purpose for this. And you are my mirror and you are teaching me something.
And our question is to ask is, how am I that person? How am I that person that is right in front of me having this process right now? Because you're right, that that person could be a mom or a father or something, and you're like, how am I that person? And I'd be like, well, I'm denying my reality, or you know what, I am betraying myself. And not necessarily have to be I am a mom, but I am betraying myself just like the mom is betraying the self, or the father is neglecting himself. Maybe I am neglecting myself. So it's so important, especially when we do group settings, healing. Always ask yourself, how am I that person, so that your subconscious can provide you that question.
And you kept on asking us that, right? It's like, what do you see? How does it feel in your body?
Because you're seeing that, and it's always going to be a reaction here that you have to pay attention to see what is surfacing for me. And by you accessing yet again, you get information. That's literally what shadow means, right? To put light into the dark, which is the light, the light of consciousness into the dark of the unconscious.